Hi, I'm Venk.
And I'm Jaya.
And this is the Reality Hey episode 37.
Yes.
I know. Just to start off, you love us, you like us, you live for our drama. So, yuck. So please hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when a new episode comes your way. So we have reunion part 3 of Beverly Hills, and we have a new episode of Salt Lake City, y'all.
Yes.
What should we start with, Boobala?
I think let's get through Salt Lake City.
Let's.
Recap.
Okay. So Salt Lake City. A few things happen. I mean, it was a bit slow moving, but stuff happens. Whitney, we open the show. Whitney's inviting everyone tubing. So that's the big event that happens in the episode. We see Lisa picking her son up, taking him for fast food. She says that's adulting. And her son had a bad day at school with friends. And she basically compares his relationship and repairing it with his friends to her relationship with Whitney, which I found so funny.
It's, juvenile. So
Yeah. And then we move on to Jenny and Dewey, and they are out on a date. They go out, they have oyster date night.
That
date looked delicious. The crab legs, I was like, yes.
They look delicious, but
yes. But the content, what happened on the date was not delicious. So Jenny brings up the fact that they had this fight on their last date night and they haven't really spoken about it since. And she said, I really want to talk about it. I was really upset by it. And Dewey's response was, well, I was upset that you walked out on me when we had this conversation. You got up and left, which I understand why she got up and left. And he then basically goes on to say that, like, this is not new news. He's wanted a big family. He's been very honest and open about it from the beginning. And that it is not against the law in Utah to have a sister wife, and that a lot of his patients have multiple wives, and they're happy and their kids are great and yada, yada,
they're
yada.
Catholic, so that's against their God.
Exactly. So, well, wait, that's the funny part. So then she says, like, what do you want this to be like? If we have a sister wife, what is this going to be like? Like, I cannot imagine having this. Nobody else is. I would be very jealous. I have issues with it. And he really doesn't have any answers. And he was like, well, what does everyone else do? And she was like, everyone else, we're Catholic. We're not Mormon. And he's like, yeah, but the Bible doesn't say that you can't have multiple wives. Because he takes the Bible literally. I
hate him so much.
I do too. And I liked him at first. And now I'm like, oh, barf.
There's only one Dewey that has my heart, and that's Deputy Dewey Riley of Scream.
Yes. Yeah.
But this Dewey is a Dewey dumbass.
Yeah, he is.
I think they're
not the Dewey Decimal System. He's the Dewey dumbass.
I think they're headed for the other D, divorce.
I mean, we'll see, right? I don't think they're headed for divorce, but this is a big issue. And basically she was like, I'm not okay with a sister wife. And like, really what the problem is your trauma, and that you haven't actually dealt with. This comes up every March, which is when their daughter was stillborn. And she was like, every year this happens, and you become depressed and you want a bigger family and you cry and we're sad and we fight about this. And she was like, really, what I think is you need therapy.
Can I offer my a theory?
Yeah.
You know, based off the TikTok where her relative says they're a bunch of bullshit, lying, humans. I feel like this is contrived.
It might be. You know what I mean? It really might be. I had that thought too when I was watching it. I was like, is this a made up story that they're creating? And she was like, he's against therapy because in our culture, admitting that you need help is a sign of weakness. And so, he can't admit that he's vulnerable. And he basically said, let me think about it. So it went nowhere, right?
No.
So then we move on to Meredith and Seth having a date night and like having all this weird sexy talk that I was just like,
And I was thinking the whole time, I wish I was Meredith right now.
Because you like Seth?
Yeah, totally.
He's the one you choose out of all the husbands?
Well,
for Whitney's husband? If I had to, if you put me up against a wall and had a gun against my head, I think I would choose Seth.
Yeah, I mean,
but not Whitney's husband, because you keep going on about Whitney's
here's
husband.
the deal. I like him for two different reasons. Whitney's husband is somebody that could throw me around, and I like that. I mean,
Seth looks small.
Yeah, I like the dad bod. I'm into
he couldn't do that like baby challenge with you.
I like the dad bod a lot. So
Whitney's husband could do the baby challenge, the TikTok baby.
And then I could just bury my head in his stomach.
I want to do the baby challenge with you. I want you to pick me up and hold me like a baby.
Like this?
Like, where you like grab it? No, not like this. Haven't you seen that challenge where you have to like grab them under the crotch and swing them?
When I'm naked and I'm wearing a diaper, I kind of look like a fat baby.
I didn't know you wore diapers.
Well, sometimes they don't have toilet paper. Okay, continue.
So anywho, any poo. My 5-year-old would love that. Anywho, Meredith reveals that, they are looking to buy property. So they're looking to permanently stay in Utah. And B, while they're in a good place now, they actually saw a discernment counselor to decide whether they should stay married before they went through therapy. Ooh. I know. And I guess the discernment counselor helped them realize that they should stay married and work through their issues. And she said one issue she still has is that she doesn't feel supported by him when it comes to their children. But he was kind of like, you've got to stop being so involved in our children's lives.
Yeah.
I get it. They're grown up.
The kids are grown up.
Boundaries. My parents don't have boundaries. It's true. And it's okay. I love them. But
yeah.
Parents, I probably won't have boundaries. 100%.
I won't have kids. So there you go. Never. Never.
I'll let you have mine.
And you want them to write a book about me called Uncle Dearest? Tied me up! Oh, wire!
So then we get to Heather throwing a birthday party for Beauty Count. Wait, what is it called? Beauty Lab, not Beauty Counter. That's
another.
That's a makeup line.
That's the
one. Beauty Lab, and for the mothers that work at Beauty Lab, because all of their babies, those young moms have babies.
Why do they all look alike? It's like,
yeah.
The thing about
it's Utah.
It is Utah. The thing about it's funny. We're watching this one type of Utah right now in Salt Lake City, but I was watching a Vice, Vice episode on YouTube a couple a couple of nights ago. I don't know how many years old it is, but it was about this woman. She's a lesbian woman from a big city, from any city we've lived in, moves out there and buys land out in the Wild West. And she's like, she has a gun for protection. And the stuff she talks about, she's like, it's a lawless land. People kill people. It's like cowboys. The things that happen are things that we in other parts of the country have absolutely no idea.
Probably. My dad lived in Utah in the 60s.
Yeah.
He lived in Salt Lake City. I mean, he was probably the only Indian there. but he was there doing a fellowship. He learned to ski there because it was the only way he could get a day off. Isn't that crazy?
No,
Yeah.
you can only ski on your day off.
I guess like that was like a guaranteed, like if you were going on the slopes, like they'd give you time off. So he learned to ski.
Or trying to become Mormon.
Right, right.
I also watched an interesting Vice about Mormon porn.
Oh, never heard of it.
Okay, fascinating. It's all ex-Mormons. They use their like Mormon loincloths, and it's like there's straight Mormon porn and there's gay Mormon porn. I think the gay Mormon porn is like fake.
Yeah, I feel like straight Mormon porn. So what? They have the cloth in the porn?
Yeah, they wear the things with the green leaf, the whole. They wear the getup.
Porn?
Yeah, and then they
reveal their faces, or are the faces?
They're ex Mormons, and it's not like.
And is it Mormon porn?
Well, no, they're in reenacting everything Mormons do, and then they do sex.
Oh, that's.
Have you heard of what was it called? Soaking.
I have, where you put it in, but you don't move. Right. But you could have a friend in the room. I learned it on TikTok that moves the bed. I learned it on TikTok. I learned it
on soaking.
It came up in TikTok.
The woman got like that video got silenced or like it got deleted. She talked about it.
But I did see it. I did.
I just like, you know, what's funny about some religions is like they make up rules because they're like, we can't do this. Like,
I know.
First of all, soaking sounds so gross.
It sure does.
Stop soaking. Just
don't soak.
Put some friction into it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to do it, guys.
So anywho, they have this beauty lab party. Jen, Whitney, Heather, Angie, they're all there, and they talk about Whitney's double date with Lisa and her husband. And Angie really became upset when she heard that she was being accused of lying. And she was like, wait, I'm being accused of lying. Wait, like I didn't lie. Like this is what happened. And she got very upset. She also got really drunk.
Did she vomit?
She did. Yeah, she did.
I was like, wait, was that a flashback or did that just happen?
No, she vomited. And Jen in the confessional is like, God, I can't believe that, like, you know, Whitney actually thinks this is set up. Like, this isn't Lisa's style. Bullshit. Like, of course it's Lisa's style. She set it up. She's not a good actor. It was very obvious what was going on there. And basically Lisa supposedly wants nothing to do with Angie going forward. And that upset Angie, which I was like, what? Wait, she tried to ruin your event, but you're upset that Lisa doesn't want to be friends with you anymore? Like, what?
I just, to me, I'm like,
you Mormon gotta figure it out. Like, she's not nice. She's
also not that cool.
Yeah, she's not that cool.
If Lisa Barlow is the coolest kid in Utah, I'm so thankful I don't live in Utah.
Yeah, right. So then we get to the big moment, which is the ladies tubing. And Mary is not about this tubing experience. She's mad that she has to travel 2 hours. She basically was demanded that they hire a driver. She does not want to be there. She has a bad attitude. She actually killed me this episode. She really made me laugh.
She was funny.
I mean, she was so funny, and she wasn't trying to be. She was just pissed off. Lisa gets in the limo when everybody's there. She acts like she doesn't see Angie. And then I guess Mary at one point made a comment that she doesn't drink carbonated water because it destroys your ovaries.
A lot of scientific evidence points to that.
Is that true?
Absolutely not.
Oh, because I was like, I don't think that's true. Also, I drank cases and cases of sparkling water.
Listen, I drink a lot of sparkling water and I never once have gotten pregnant. So
you haven't? Oh, so maybe it has affected your ovaries?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
And anyway, so like that comes up as a joke. Lisa sort of makes a joke about it. And she says, like, I should Google it. And that puts Mary over the edge. And she goes after Lisa. And
she's nuts.
So they have it out in the limo. And then basically Mary gets out of, they all get to the tubing place. And Jenny, well, first Mary and Lisa have like a little interaction, and Mary's like, you were demeaning, and like, what are you saying that because I'm Black? You have to Google it because I'm Black. Like, you don't trust anyone.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird.
I did too. Like, I think she was just mad. She didn't want to be there. She felt like someone was making fun of her, and she like kind of went for that.
That was not the right time. Mary,
yeah, it was odd, but I did love how feisty she was. Like, I was kind of like, I'm enjoying this. Keep it going.
Even though it was irrational.
I enjoyed it. And then she gets into it with Jenny. And at one point, so Jenny's basically like, everybody shut the fuck up. Like, I want to have a good time. Mary, stop this. Like, we're going to have fun today. And Mary loses it and basically says to Jenny, which is really offensive. Like, I'm surprised, and I'm sure it will come back in the reunion, but like, she basically says to Jenny, what language are you speaking? I don't understand you. That's offensive. I mean, that is very unlike Mary. So in the episodes, yeah, I feel like up until now, she's so holy, and she made a really offensive comment.
Well, remember, she is the person.
We're gonna find out that maybe in next week's episode she runs a cult, but at this moment it's kind of like, wow,
we're not gonna find out she runs a cult. We're gonna get confirmation.
We're just gonna we're gonna hear the hard facts,
facts over feelings.
And basically Jenny's like, I don't care what you're saying, I'm gonna have a good time, and I will fight with anyone today that's like coming my way. And we do find out later on that the reason Jenny was so feisty as well, and like really willing to pick a fight, and like did not want any like stress, is because it was the day her daughter was stillborn. And so this is a hard day for her. And so she's out with these ladies. She wants to feel good, and she doesn't want to be hearing arguments. She wants to have a nice time. She wants to like enjoy the day. She's mourning, of course. And like, I don't know. I felt for her in that moment. Right.
Jenny, I think like though.
But all the stuff we know. Yes. But still, that is the day. Right. And that's.
No. Do we know?
I know, right?
I don't know.
And then the part that killed me was like, they have to like climb this mountain, and then they go on like a people mover, and Mary has on boot heels to go tubing. That killed me. I was like, what are you doing, Mary? You and Lisa and your boots. I mean,
those boots weren't made for walking in snow. Okay.
No. So they like tube, they have a good time. Mary goes down once and she's like, I'm not doing this again. I hate this. I'm miserable. She's like, a group event. I don't like them. She never likes group events. I was surprised she was there.
It's like honest, crazy. I don't like group events.
But I think Bravo is probably like, listen, Mary, you can't stay locked in your closet the whole time. So you either come out or. So she was reluctantly at this event. So then they like have like a tubing contest. It's over. They sit down to eat. And basically we find out that, like I said before, Jenny, it was the day of her daughter's birth. And then also, but you see that also Mary is like not having it. Like she isn't like, oh, I see why you're so upset. Mary's just like, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I hear what you're saying. Like totally dismissive, wasn't eating, didn't want to be there. Like she was miserable the whole time. And then Angie starts talking to Lisa and is like, listen, like, can you hear my side of the story? Like, let's talk this out. I want to be friends. I'd like to move past it, which I was like, you're letting Lisa off easy.
So, well, and that's what Whitney points out later when.
Yeah.
So anyway, like what bothered me was that Lisa got her way, started like hyperventilating
and then she was like, my grandfather was gay, and if you think I would block anything, like stop it.
First of all, also wasn't it a
community
trans event?
It was a trans event.
So like Lisa, there's a difference between a gay person and a trans person. One is sexuality and one is gender.
Maybe she'll learn something. The more you know, Lisa, the more you know. I guess they didn't teach her that at Brigham Young.
Maybe, yeah, they definitely didn't teach that at Brigham Young. But you should probably Google it.
Yeah, Lisa. But anyway, that was enough to let Angie go over, support her, apologize for doing nothing wrong, and now they're friends again.
Again, I'm not.
They're friends again.
That's kind of how it is.
That's the episode. So that's the end of it. That's the end of it.
It was a nothing burger for me.
But next week is when we learn about Mary's cult.
Or just we learn some more information that will lead us into the next episode.
I know. Every week, Bank and I are like, this next week looks like it's going to be really good.
It'll be real good. And really, the only thing good about it,
get little bits and pieces. You know, it's like
we're the only thing good about these shows. We should be
Cheetos, never satisfied. I eat the whole bag. I still don't feel full.
You know what? Let's move on to the Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion episode, part 3.
Okay, so I wasn't crazy about this episode.
I hated it so much. Can we just like go through it real quick?
Let's go fast because like I'm sure you felt the same way.
There were like 4 points.
Okay, so one point is Kathy and Kyle's relationship. It is repaired. All is well with Kim.
I love that.
And you know, Kyle did not regret making American Woman because she said it was a love letter to my mother. I wish my family would have watched it. They would have seen that it is because I love her so much that I wrote this.
Yeah.
And I wish we would have not lost so much time, you know, with our relationship because it's awful. We can never get that back. And we do learn that their kids are all still very close. So even when they were fighting and not talking, the kids were always together and still.
You mean our dear friend Paris Hilton?
Kathy and Kim and Kyle's children are still all very close and kind of played a part in having them mend their relationship.
Including our dear friend Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton.
We love Paris Hilton.
We love Paris Hilton. She likes us on TikTok.
She follows us on TikTok.
She does, yes. And that's the one thing is like they do both agree. The sisters both agree. Like, okay, when we fought, it was handled poorly. It was both of us. We take responsibility. We never want that to happen again. And I like Kathy so much.
Oh my God. First of all, I relate to her so much. Fan in the bedroom. I used to have a fan in the bedroom, right up next to my bed growing up. I need white noise to go to sleep. I just like everything that Kathy does. The fact that she and her husband eat with their trays, TV trays.
Because they think it's more intimate and they like being they like being together as a family.
They really like being a family.
Well, yeah, she said they lived in the Waldorf for 9 years because it was cozy and they liked being together, except when Paris would escape out the service elevator to go out.
God,
that's what she said.
Have you ever been in that Waldorf Astoria?
You know what? I don't think I have. And I have been to New York. I've just never gone in there.
It's beautiful.
Decadent.
I forced my parents to get a hotel room there when they came to visit. I was just like,
please stay there.
I was like, please. And they did. I was like, so fancy.
But yeah, so that was very nice. And she does know the woman that works at her home's name, and it's Paula. And we see that she knows her name because in a previous episode,
the lady
off the TV trays, she refers to her as Paula.
Like, thank you, Paula. The lady, get the lady. The lady. Get the lady.
We then learn about, so when Garcelle was talking about her siblings, how she forgot the one sibling, Carol, she says, actually, that sibling and I had a falling out. And after watching it and realizing I forgot her name, it made me look at that situation differently. And it seems like maybe she's trying to repair that relationship.
Weird. I don't know. I get along with both my siblings.
I mean, you know, do you?
No.
And then Crystal opens up about her time as an escort. She doesn't really open up about it. She just says she was an escort between high school and college, and at one point was propositioned to be a madam. And that's what made our dear Erika respect her and like her, because she was so open about it.
I wonder if she was, is that how she met her husband?
I wondered that myself. I had the same, I was like, is that how you met your husband?
How much older is he than her?
Like, I think 20 years or almost 20 years, right?
She's like 35. She's 15 years older than us.
Oh yeah, she is 15 years older
Than us.
So she was probably our age when she met him.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I will say, I think she's a good mom.
I do too. And I like her. I like her. The coat issue comes up, and, you know, they've since moved past it. And actually, Sutton says at one point as she's talking, so the coat issue comes up, I'll get to it, but the coat issue comes up and she's like, I don't want to minimize that issue and the way I felt, because those were my feelings, and everything that had happened previous, it was compounded, and it probably wouldn't have been what it was, but because we had a heated racial discussion, because there was the fight over the Kathy's joke about the martinis, she's like, you know, it had all just kind of built up. And so when she walked in and the way I was feeling with her, I felt violated. And she was like, you know, it is what it is. And she was like, and I also didn't appreciate that everyone was trying to tell me how I should feel.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
They were policing her feelings, but she did admit that it's probably because of her body dysmorphia.
Right.
So.
Right. And her and Crystal and Sutton have worked things out, you know, and so then they move on, and this is a big thing. I mean, Crystal has gotten hundreds of threats and hate messages on her social media. And at one point she had to pause it because people are sending all this hate mail to her about her race and about her culture and showing it on television. And, you know, she did this because she felt like she was leading by example and showing her kids, you know, how they should be proud of who they are. And
these are all like, you know, what's funny?
What are you guys doing?
People are always, so there's a couple things about them. They're generally uneducated. If they are educated, it's
fear.
It's like, well, I don't know. They're not no racist is an intellectual.
I agree.
And also, every racist is ugly.
But inside.
No, outside. No. I've never met an attractive person that's a racist.
And listen, if you are an attractive racist, prove it to us by emailing us.
Hey, your picture and say something racist about us.
Yeah, you can email that to us.
Yeah,
always waiting for emails.
That's REALITYHATEF@gmail.com. You need to say something racist about us. We're both, she's half Indian and half white. That like goes against all you races. You hate that. You hate intermixing of race.
Mixing.
I am brown and a homosexual. Okay.
So we're like prime for the picking. So just send us hate mail with.
And I probably had
we can decide whether you're attractive or not.
Imagine that also I probably had an easier life than you. Like my parents were immigrants and are great. Your parents are in West Virginia. So like, there's that. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.
But please email us.
Yeah.
I want you to email us. So
Why
anyway.
do I pick on West Virginia so much?
No, yeah, don't do that. We like you, West Virginia.
No, we don't.
Have you ever seen The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, that documentary?
I've been to West Virginia.
But have you seen that documentary?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's crazy. With the like stepping. Oh my God.
I've been to West. I have a family in West Virginia. I have been to West Virginia.
Step dance or whatever, clogging.
The kids are gone now. They're living in big cities, but like, it's just like the most it's just like, I couldn't. So there's a very famous estate, like a resort type thing in West Virginia. Like the Bushes go there, and my uncle threw like a big family reunion there, and he bought out there's the big hotel, and there's like a bunch of
cottages. Yeah,
and we got all the bungalows, and it was like really fancy. Like at dinner, it was like night, like super fancy, rich, like the 1%ers. But I was still like, so when we get off the plane, we have to drive like an hour or so to this, like, it was me, my cousin, and my sister. And they're like, and they were really nice. Everybody, like, they were nice to us. You
mean your family?
Rental car people.
Oh.
So they're like, we have a really nice car for you guys, blah, blah, blah. We know you're going to this, I forget the name of the place. The Greensbrier. It's called Greenbrier. Okay. So like, we have a really nice car, and I'm looking out the window, I'm like, where? And no lie, like the movie Never Been Kissed, she points at the Buick LeSabre. I'm like, oh.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, sure. But like, I'm thinking, oh, it's like, you've got like a, like the Buick LeSabre. Oh, she was a nice lady. I shouldn't make fun of West Virginia.
Anywho, he's done enough damage. Send us your hate mail. So basically, she said this was very hard for her, but she wants to continue with the show because she feels like a lot of good came out of it, and the women have supported her. And Sutton says, I feel so bad about that. If I played any part of it, played any part of that situation, I'm so sorry. And I loved that.
I don't think Sutton did.
I don't either. And then my favorite part that we have to talk about before we get into Erika, is that they went around and they asked I think it was Garcelle. Andy asked Garcelle, like, who do you think has the best fashion sense in the group? And she said, Dorit.
And by the way, I'm sorry, but just because you're a model doesn't mean you have fashion sense.
I'm sorry, I agree with you. And also, Dorit does not have fashion sense. Are you like on?
You can tell, I gotta be honest, you can tell like an actor is like, they think they're wearing something fabulous because it's like really designer on a red carpet, but you're like, you only think it's good because of the designer you're wearing,
the label,
not because of the fact. But it's the like.
Do you look good in it? Does it look? Do you wear it well? Does it actually? Is it?
I ain't naming names.
So anyway, I almost died, and then also we find out that like Dorit buys all of her clothes retail.
Lie.
With all that money.
There's no way.
I know. I was also like, oh, really?
I felt
like she was lying too. I was like, no, you don't. You wear the labels from head to toe. You're doing that for a reason.
But I don't think the one company that I don't think would approve of that is Louis Vuitton. I believe she buys Louis Vuitton because there is no way Louis Vuitton would approve of that. Do you know that just like none of the housewives are invited to join Soho House. And as you know, I was kicked out of Soho House.
Yes.
because of two pieces of garbage people. That can burn in hell for all eternity. Anyway, no, I was like, you know what? It's COVID. I can't afford it anyway. So thank you. But they're not allowed. So in the same way, high-end retailers like Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, yes, I can believe them to be tacky enough to because they're just a tacky brand with terrible ideas and they're horrible humans. But like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, I don't think they would. I just don't.
Well, either way, she says she buys every item of clothing we see, and she likes what she likes. Guess what, Dorit? I don't think you have the best fashion sense, and I don't like what you like.
No, none of us do.
The one thing I thought was so cute was Kyle was asked, "What's the most lavish gift you were given?" And she talks about her, from her husband, and she talks about her diamond earrings. But then she asks Kathy, then Andy asks Kathy, what about you? And she was like, yeah, we don't really give gifts. For my big anniversary, I got a sterling silver shell, and I give Rick a sweater for Christmas and our anniversaries, which I thought was so sweet, Kathy, I like you. You're great.
I love Rick and
Kathy. I know, right?
I just would like to hang out with them for I don't know, a day.
I mean, they're so great. They're great.
I like Paris. I like the family.
We like the Hiltons. We do.
I'm not ashamed to say how much I like the Hiltons.
Yes. And then we get back to Erika. We get back to it.
Yeah.
Erika starts the conversation off with saying that she is keeping score of everyone who is with her and everyone who is against her, but she wouldn't reveal what the score is so far. And then Kyle kind of speaks up and says, I feel like you were upset with me, and I've seen this in the press. And she's like, yeah, the way you, Dorit, and your husbands made fun of me at that dinner, was unforgivable. It hurt my feelings. PK and I worked on our relationship, and here you are mocking me. And Dorit, of course, steps in and is like, it wasn't meant to be a mockery. We were just talking about how unbelievable the story is. Because the story is unbelievable, Erika. It is.
I don't think she gets it.
No. And my favorite part is she keeps saying she's an open book. Didn't you hear her say that? She was an open book.
Yeah, she said it's an open book. I want to know what it's definitely written in a dead language then. Okay.
And that was the funny thing is Garcelle said, so then why, Erika, if you're an open book, could you not understand why these women were concerned? Being around you talking about the case, we could be tied. And she's like, no, that's the thing about that is, the truth, and that I'm not lying, and that, I wouldn't drag you into this. Well, no, they don't know that. And they also don't know that you're not lying. So what? I don't know. I'm so over it.
It was very tiring.
And then the other thing is she did leave the day before when they were in La Quinta. She did leave the day before the LA Times article came out, but she's saying she left because of Garcelle. No. You left because of the LA Times article. I don't care. You're not. You're lying.
I'm over Erika just like her makeup artist is because he can't get paid.
Wait, is that true?
Probably.
Oh, you're just allegedly.
I mean, her makeup on this, it's not.
Boy.
Not that I wanted to talk.
And then the other part that I find so confusing is she said all these horrible things about her husband. He cheated on her. They didn't have a good relationship. But then she goes on to say that she loved her husband and she thought he was great. But then she found out he was defrauding children and widows. And how do you think she feels? Okay, Erika, you just went back in what you've been saying this entire season. So you're saying you thought your husband was great and you loved him, but he cheated on you. He kept you from your money. I'm so confused. Which is it? Which is it? And Andy didn't call her out on that. That bothered me. So you love your husband?
And then she responded something and I can't get the answer because he is
right
not with it.
He's not with it. And then
he's with it. 100% he's with it.
And then she said that she feels horrible about what he allegedly did to these people. And everyone's like, but you never said that. And she's like, yes, I did. And they're like, no, you didn't. And she's like, listen, there are places I can and cannot go in this case. And my lawyers didn't even want me to film, but I filmed because I have nothing to hide. And I tried to speak out about as much as I could. And I can't cross certain lines. I mean, it's like she's just really tripping over herself, you know? And I felt like Andy wasn't calling her out enough.
Well, there's only so far Andy Cohen can go, in my opinion.
I mean, it sounds like next week he'll go further, but I mean, we say that again. We say that every week, right?
God, you guys, please stop. Like, I think Salt Lake City, Potomac is supposed to be great.
I have watched Potomac, but I didn't watch this season. I have not yet, but we will.
I think we should cover Potomac because honestly, I watch Potomac occasionally. It is a really good show.
I did watch Potomac.
And also Atlanta's recast, you know, they've finally made Marlo Hampton given her a peach, which she's worked so hard for so many decades.
I mean, boy, did she work hard. Yes, I mean, moving on, because this is exhausting. So basically, we get through all of this, right? Back and forth, all information we already know, right? She's basically saying, I never knew a thing. And like the women are saying that, like, at one point they're asked that, and they're like, yeah, I don't think she knew anything. And Garcelle's like, I think maybe she thought something was going on, but she didn't want to know. No, she knew. I don't believe it. Like, I just don't. And then Crystal at the very end says, like, Erika, I guess my question is, you say you have all this anger for Tom, but like, where is it? We never really see it. And Erika just like goes for the gutter, like goes for her throat, like just like screams at her, loses control, is like, what do you want me to do? You know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then she explains that first lawsuit that happened to her, where she was like with Lisa, you know, the whole Lisa Vanderpump situation. And she's like, well, it's been, you know, settled. There's no lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. She's like, when that happened, I went after Tom and I was like, what is this? And he told me that I was nothing and I didn't need to worry about a thing. Am I not angry enough yet for you, Crystal? I mean, she's such a fucking bitch. I'm sorry. And I felt bad for Crystal. Like, it was just like, my God. So
right in the middle was that was the end of that, wasn't it? Or was there more?
The end. No, then we go on next week.
But before we get out of here, I do yesterday evening, Dorit was held up at gunpoint with her kids in the other room. PK was in London, and she was robbed of $100,000 worth of merchandise.
All her clothing that she buys.
And like,
I mean, that's sad. I feel bad for her. Like, what an situation.
And
I wonder if they stole the $35,000. The pearl.
35,000.
35,000. The pearl dress. Do you think it was stolen?
That's one thing I actually hope was stolen. But only for her good. It's $100,000. It was robbed. They have insurance. They'll get their money back. Yeah. I think the trauma of getting a gun pointed at your head is like what Kim Kardashian had gone through.
I mean, she flaunts everything she has on television. Like, that's a risk you take. I mean, it happened to Kyle Richards. So thankfully she wasn't home. I mean, she lost.
My whole thing is like, y'all, you need better security.
Yeah.
Everybody I know that lives in
maybe like cut half of your glam squad budget and like give
also don't show people inside your closet when you.
I know. I think that's insane.
I know that Erika Jayne's closet is probably worth $500,000 easy.
Right.
All the Birkins.
I know.
Give me a break. Probably more than $500,000.
Crystal Minkoff. Think about all her Birkins.
But you know what?
$95,000 alone.
Yeah, I guarantee that. Yeah, so I'm thinking actually maybe there's more than $1 million in there. I guarantee Crystal Minkoff has better security.
I'm sure.
Her husband is like a legendary director.
Right.
She can feel the love inside. You know what? I would get all the hate emails and the hate Twitters and just be like,
yes.
you know what, bitch? I have fuck you money. So fuck you.
Hakuna Matata.
Racist, the thing racists hate the most is you being better than them. But just by the fact that my parents aren't related, we are better than you.
Send us your hate mail.
You know what? You should also like follow us on Instagram at Reality Hate F. You should follow us on TikTok at Reality Hate F, like our dearest friend Paris Hilton. And you should also follow us on Instagram. Did I say Instagram?
Said that. Facebook. You should listen to our radio show called Sorry Not Sorry on Ruckus Avenue Radio every Monday.
Mondays at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of Dash Radio.
Yes, it's part of Dash Radio. And yeah, like you have many opportunities to like us and listen to us. Just, you know, give our factual opinions.
100% factual information that we provide to you.
Yeah. So
thank you for dealing with me.
That's it.
So cold. I'm Vank.
I'm Jaya.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Okay, start.
Blackwater. We like it.
So good.
Quenches that thirst.
So good.